It's already dumping snow on parts of Colorado. This live picture from Manitou Springs, and tomorrow parts of Kansas will see the beginnings of a snowstorm. That's prompted Storm Team 12 to issue weather alert days for Monday and Tuesday. We've got Team 12 coverage to make sure you're ready for possible blizzard conditions. It is still a packed house out here, Mike, and I will tell you, we are told if you are in line by 2 o'clock, which already it is after 2 o'clock, so if you're in line right now, you will be able to vote. They said that might take until 4 o'clock this afternoon. You can just see how many people are in here. I was just told that they opened up a few more computers here behind me just to check people in, try to get people in quicker to be able to vote. I just spoke with a gentleman who just voted and said it took him 2 hours to do that. Hundreds and hundreds of people, that's what we're seeing. It is a mad celebration in Denver tonight. Police in Denver closed some roads down. They're blocking off traffic into downtown after that win. I did speak with a police officer not very long ago. He said this is where they're going to bring a representative. Now, I'll let you zoom in. We're kind of a little ways away. Again, this is where the media will be held here. But I did have a little time to talk with an employee on scene when we were closer there. He said that it seemed like the alleged shooter was known to some of the people inside. He said that some of the employees were shouting that person's name. A semi-fire with smoke seen for miles and a small explosion all caught on video. Eyewitnesses called it intense. The man driving was able to escape injury. Devin Fastminer spoke with some eyewitnesses who saw it all unfold in front of them. The man who lives at this home says he actually saw the suspect running down this road. Well, he then started to call 911. While he was on the phone with police, the suspect ran up his driveway, grabbed this brick, and then threw it through this door. A lot of the snow is drifting because it's really heading in, you can kind of tell, hitting me at an angle. So if you're thinking about maybe along a road or a highway where there might be some tall grass, I mean, you're looking at you could be up to 18, 19 inches of snow, and that's what a lot of troopers are saying is happening even on I-70. I-70 west of Goodland is still closed down, and KDOT is saying that a lot of accommodations west of Salina are filling up now. So if you don't have to get out, just don't get out, especially if you're trying to travel I-70. I-70 west of Salina is expected to see more snow, as much as 6 inches around Ellis County. People we spoke with in Hayes say they aren't worried as long as drivers take their time.
Yeah, I really want a snow day.
Don't we all? To see if your child has a snow day, check out our school cancellations on our app. You can also use the app to see if your hometown comes under any severe weather alerts. We kind of looked around on this grass, and there's a lot of discarded cigarettes right here. This is where fire crews say this all started, and eyewitnesses as well. But look at how close it's come to a lot of these homes. This home had a little bit of exterior damage, not a lot, but we do know of several other homes that had some very serious damage. We measured the ice where the firefighters were training today, and even with those bitter cold temperatures we've had all week, the ice was only about this thick, about the size of a quarter, maybe a little bit thicker than that. So you can imagine just one person misjudging that ice, and then you have a very dangerous situation. This is where that children's hospital is going to be, on the 5th floor of Wesley, but it's going to be completely transformed. Here's a little bit of a look at their vision on that, just really trying to make this area both child and family friendly. Adam Miller knows a lot of the victims in yesterday's shooting. He himself was shot multiple times trying to evacuate people from the XL building. But tonight he says that he forgives the man who shot him. Adam Miller is surrounded by love.
It's overwhelming.
His family holding him tight, thankful they won't have to let go.
And you cannot tell me there's not a God. His armored shield was over my son's chest. It should have gone into his heart.
2 bullets hit Adam's chest, another went into his leg, and a 4th into his arm.
And they said, there was an accident, you need to go straight to the emergency room. Adam is injured.
Adam was at work at XL Industries when he saw people running.
I heard someone yell fire, which happens to be our code word for a shooter. But it didn't register as that.
He was trying to help evacuate his team when he came face to face with a gunman.
He just looked kind of confused, and so I told him he needs to run, there's a fire, and he just looked confused, so I told him again, and he said, I know, and then he shot me.
His next thought, run.
I got to the door, and my body told me that I was hurting.
2 people grabbed Adam and took him to a safe place to wait for emergency responders.
I can't express how much I thank them Everybody did such a good job.
As Adam continues to recover with his family by his side, the face of the gunman will not soon leave his thoughts.
He was obviously in a lot of pain. I don't know what he was going through, but obviously he felt this was the way out, and so my heart just aches for him.
I pray for his family, how much pain there must be, and no ill feelings there.
Yeah, Adam says that he still can't walk. He says the bullet that went into his leg did a lot of damage, but he's hopeful that he's going to be able to go home, hopefully in the next several days, and then he'll also be returning to work as soon as he feels better. 3 tiny babies wrapped up tight.
The last 3 weeks been pretty crazy.
All 3 finally home 3 weeks after their birth.
Definitely bittersweet. I mean, it's kind of the worst part of my life and the best part of my life happened in the same week.
It was the week Piper, Levi, and Asher made their grand entrance into the world.
Yeah, that was our ultimate goal, just to carry her 34 weeks, have healthy babies, and nothing would get in her way of doing that. And she'd do anything possible to do that, and that's exactly what she did.
It was also the week their mom, Cassie Rutt, was taken from them.
It's overwhelming what happened, the tragedy, overwhelming the blessings of 3 little ones.
Cassie died unexpectedly after a blood clot formed in her lungs just days after getting to hold her newborns for the first time. In the weeks after, people from across the state, the country, and the world responded.
I've had people, I don't know, aren't from the area, that wrote me letters, messages on Facebook or email, and it's been awesome, really.
On the family's GoFundMe page alone, people have donated thousands of dollars and sent prayers and encouragement no money could buy.
The community's been exceptionally awesome. They've all come together, and people that I didn't know, people I know, there's so many people and that are here to help me.
The local community's been super, but throughout the state, throughout our country, we've got several notices from people out of the country. So it's been very overwhelming, humbling, to say the least.
Speaking not only with words, but actions.
Supported people calling, can they help? I mean, it's from anywhere. People a long ways away. Can I help do anything? Support this, help give breast milk to the babies.
Yeah, some of the breast milk we got donated to us to start out on. And well, Cassie was big into breastfeeding. That's so many advantages to that. So now that she's not able to do that, we've had quite a few mothers here locally, friends of family that have offered. And
not only people, but companies as well.
Infant Mill contacted us, and they sent us basically a year supply formula there. So that's been very helpful.
Now, these 3 tiny babies, their 2 sweet sisters, and their dad will continue to move forward with the love and support from people, even strangers, all over the world.
It makes you feel like, wow, there's a lot of great people out there in the world.
You always hear about people that go through these kind of things, but until you actually go through it yourself and feel the love that people give to you, it's pretty amazing.
A major fire sparked by a lightning strike causes nearly $1 million in damage to a Wichita home. But did a flexible gas tube that millions of people, and maybe you, have in their homes play a role in the fire becoming much more destructive?
Jade Good shows us a hidden hazard that could put your life at risk and shows you how to find out if it's in your home.
Probably got a lightning strike, I imagine. You can see the flames and the smoke from across the street over here.
A fire rages in East Wichita in early July.
The flames were just rolling on top of the garage.
Yeah, I can see flames above the treetops, so it's really burning.
Wichita's fire marshal says lightning hit the house and the tree nearby, causing nearly $1 million in damage.
The owners of the home are out of town, and there is a considerable loss.
But now local fire investigators are looking into another possible factor in this fire and others across the state, something you might have in your home.
You can kind of see it right in here.
Kent Greer is a private investigator in Wichita.
There's a hole burned into the floor right in there.
He and his team at KGFI work hundreds of fire investigation cases each year, like this one in western Kansas.
This whole area is just rolling in fire. And that stainless steel tubing's tough.
He says a lightning strike punctured holes in this tubing that carries gas to a fireplace above. It's called yellow-jacketed CSST, or corrugated stainless steel tubing, and it can be found in millions of homes across the U.S.
If it's done just right, it's reasonably safe.
But he says if the tubing is not properly grounded or bonded.
The problem we see is that if there's a lightning strike close by, the energy transmits through that gas line, and it sometimes gets perforations in it. Some instances, it causes a small leak, which takes some time to develop. You have to have the right mixture of gas and oxygen, obviously, to come together at the right point with an ignition source. So sometimes it has some catastrophic results.
One of the issues that fire investigators and critics of CSST have with the product is just how thin this tubing is. Many people compare it with the thickness of about 4 sheets of paper, much thinner than your standard gas pipe. We found yellow CSST in this home in the basement's utility closet, just up in the rafters. It goes to a fireplace above, but if you want to check, you may also find it up in your attic.
Some of the plumbing companies refuse to even put it in different localities.
Seth Harrington with Ready Industries says Wichita has banned the use of yellow-jacketed CSST in new installations.
The biggest reason it's outlawed is just not as safe. Because, again, the electricity can pass directly through here. There's not a coating to protect the electricity as well.
It's also banned in Sedgwick County and a handful of other places in Kansas. That's why those areas now use this instead.
Has the same stainless steel tubing. There is a black layer under here that's a little hard to see that keeps the electricity from going into the pipe, and then there's another layer of metal on the outside with a mesh that you're fitting bonds to, and it helps seal.
While there's no way of knowing how often yellow-jacketed CSST was a factor in lightning-caused fires, fire investigators say they've seen enough evidence to raise the red flag.
We've had some very large structure fires. A lot of fairly upper-end homes were built and that tubing was used, and especially we see kind of out in rural areas sometimes where lightning strikes occur that we've had some really significant fires involving that tubing.
CSST in your house, like this home here, fire investigators say that it is important to have an electrician or a plumber come to your home and make sure that it is bonded and grounded properly. They say although that doesn't alleviate the risk, it does make that tubing safer. Another option would be to replace that tubing altogether. This was the black-jacketed CSST that we showed you there. It's still legal here in Wichita and in Sedgwick County. It's been tested for lightning strikes, but of course that'll run you several $100s depending on how much CSST that you have in your house. But as we've seen here tonight, it could save you thousands and could save your life.
Thanks, Jade. We have a lot of resources on our website, kwch.com. See how you can make sure your tubing is bonded correctly and see whether your county allows the use of yellow CSST.
The anxiety over Zika continues.